There are 11 champions in the UFC. However, who are their nightmare matchups? Well, in this video, I'm going to go through every single champion right now and give who I think is their nightmare matchup. First up, the current flyweight champ. A lot of people may not think he is, but he's earned that right, and it is Josh Van. And I think his nightmare matchup is Tatsuro Taira. Why, you may ask? Tatsuro Taira provides an incredible grappling threat that I don't think anyone in this division can handle, bar Pantoja, to be honest with you. I think this fight has been made for UFC 327. Yeah, UFC 327 in Miami. And yeah, I am confidently picking Tatsuro Taira as of now. I just believe he outgrapples everyone in this division. If you look at the rest of the division, Josh Van, I think he can beat Manel Kape, Lona Kavanagh. Pantoja may be in the rematch due to the age, but I think Tatsuro Taira is the nightmare matchup. The guy's fast on the feet, long-limbed, incredible grappling, and I could see him submitting Joshua Van at UFC 327. And I think that is Joshua Van's nightmare matchup. I'm not discrediting Joshua Van at all. I know I see a lot of people online do that. I do think Joshua Van would beat Pantoja in a rematch. Manel Kape and probably Lona Kavanagh as of now. And obviously the rest of the bums in the flyweight division. Yeah, I just think Tatsuro Taira is the nightmare matchup for Joshua Van. Current bantamweight champ, Petr Yan, and a lot of people aren't going to like this. I do think Sugar Sean O'Malley is Petr Yan's nightmare matchup. I don't think there are many guys in this division that have the capabilities of beating Petr Yan. However, I think if anyone's going to do it, I think it would be Sean O'Malley by KO. I don't see Merab beating Petr Yan in the rematch. Who else is there in the division really? Umar, Yan too quick for him on the feet and be able to defend the takedowns. Yan had comfortably, in my opinion, I think Yan comfortably beats Merab in the trilogy, sorry. And Umar, the man here, Sean O'Malley, he's got a win over him. Yes, it was controversial, but he's given Yan a real tough test. And to beat Petr Yan, you've either got to completely outgrapple him, just like Merab did in the first fight, and Aljamain Sterling did, or you've got to go out there and knock him out. And Sean O'Malley is a very awkward fighter in this division, way too tall, stereotypically not the size, height-wise, of a bantamweight. And I think he could give Petr Yan problems again if they had a rematch for the belt. I think he'd be too much for Yan at range. O'Malley's very long for this division and have a big reach advantage, and could just pick Yan off with shots, snipe him. The only threat for O'Malley would be the grappling. Obviously, Petr Yan has a much better wrestling skills than Sean O'Malley. But if anyone's going to beat Petr Yan in this division, I think it's Sean O'Malley. I don't think Merab or Umar give Petr Yan problems. I think Petr Yan has cracked the Merab test, and I think he beats Umar. O'Malley is the one where you could see Petr Yan losing. Featherweight champ, two-time champ, one of the GOATs, arguably the GOAT, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And for him, I think Jean Silva is the nightmare matchup for Alexander Volkanovski. Whether this fight will ever happen, we don't know. Obviously, Volky's going to take on the winner of Lauren Murphy versus Movsar Evloev at the O2. I will be there in the flesh to watch that. So, nevertheless, John Silva is one win away from fighting Volk, and we know that because the UFC love him. He's already, I think he's top 7 after beating Arnold Allen. I don't think Volk's going to stick around after he fights the winner of Murphy Evloev unless he goes out there and absolutely dominates him. But if he fights a guy like Jean Silva is going to knock Alexander Volkanovski's spark out. Jean Silva. Yes, Diego Lopez. I mean, gladfully, we saw Diego Lopez beat Jean Silva. But Diego Lopez is not a good striker. He cannot cut off the cage against a guy like Volkanovski. Volkanovski was able to keep him at bay for 10 whole rounds. Bar a little slip up in the first fight where he knocked him down. Jean Silva will be able to cut off the cage against Alexander Volkanovski and find the chin. I see that going exactly the same. I'm not saying he's as good as him. It's exactly the same as the Ilia Topuria fight for Alexander Volkanovski. The chin is not there anymore. He's not durable enough to beat these top guys. So these top striking guys, sorry, obviously you can beat guys like Lopez, and I could honestly see Volkanovski going out there and beating Evloev or Murphy. I think stylistically he'd match up better with Evloev, as Evloev possesses less of a less of a threat on the feet, whereas Lauren Murphy could cause Volk some problems, but I just don't think he's the highest of level, and Evloev may smudge him to a decision win. But looking down the division, I can see Jean Silva is sadly the next big guy in this division, probably likely to take over when Alexander Volkanovski retires. Sad to say, as he's an annoying cunt, let's just be honest. All that shit he does, crying for the belt and all that, when you've just got KO'd by Diego Lopez before your next fight and you're crying at the belt as if you're in contention for the belt. Cringe. Whole fighting nerd shit is cringe. But we have to give him credit. He's an incredibly good mixed martial artist, and I think he's I think he puts the lights out of Alexander Volkanovski if they were to ever fight. Ilia Topuria. This is a bit of a hot take. If you know Benji MMA on TikTok, he will for sure agree with me here. I think Mauricio Ruffi is Ilia Topuria's nightmare matchup in the division. That doesn't necessarily mean I think Mauricio Ruffi will beat Ilia Topuria. I just think Mauricio Ruffi has the best chance of beating Ilia Topuria in this lightweight division. We look at the contenders. You've got Justin Gaethje, the interim champ. Fucking hell, how's his Paddy Pimblett? Arman Tsarukyan, massively overrated. What is Arman Tsarukyan going to do to Ilia Topuria? He's not going to hold him now for 25 minutes. The striking is not there. Honestly, Arman Tsarukyan's getting a bit overrated as of late. You know, he was all underrated. Like, he was getting that Ankalaev Bilal treatment when no one cared about him. Now he's kind of popular. He's just a bit arrogant, and I think Ilia Topuria smokes Arman and the rest of the guys in the division, bar Mauricio Ruffi. We saw Ilia Topuria struggle with Max Holloway in those first 2 rounds. And if you're going to beat Ilia Topuria, you've got to be an awkward, lanky striker, or you've got to have incredible wrestling. Islam Makhachev level wrestling to beat this guy. I know Bryce Mitchell took him down and Jai Herbert head kicked him, but that's not the same Ilia Topuria we have right now. I think Mauricio Ruffi is the nightmare matchup because he is a tall, lanky, fast striker that will not engage in the pocket like a madman like Oliveira did. You see him against, I know it's Rafael Fiziev, but he looked fucking incredible, patient as ever, willing to stay on the back foot. He's an incredible back foot striker. Counter striking is incredible, and I could see him capitalizing on a wild Ilia swing with a nice little straight down the middle, like he did to Rafael Fiziev, and putting out Ilia Topuria. Out of all of the fights with Ilia Topuria, I think Ruffi and Makhachev, but we're staying at lightweight. Makhachev's never going to come down to lightweight again. So at lightweight, Mauricio Ruffi, in my opinion, has the best chance of beating Ilia Topuria. I don't think none of the other contenders have a chance. Ilia could out-grapple Ruffi. You know, we've seen big holes in his game against guys like BSD. But I think Ruffi is fucking incredible on the feet and was majorly underrated after that BSD performance where UFC pushed him a bit too soon. You know, they wanted to push him, but sometimes you've got to build these prospects up. And now I think this loss has made Mauricio Ruffi a 10 times better fighter. And I honestly think he's only a win or 2 away from fighting for the belt. He's got lots of hype, big name in the division, and if you look at the top, it's pretty stale. People are going to want fresh matchups for Ilia Topuria if he sticks around at 155, and I think Mauricio Ruffi could be the man to dethrone Ilia Topuria. Honourable mention to Arman, but I don't see Arman out-grappling him, and yeah, I think he smokes Gaethje. Holloway could be a difficult one, but I think he beats Holloway. Holloway's chin's deteriorated a bit. We've seen Ruffi look solid on the feet. Let's be honest, I don't think anyone can eat Ilia's power. It's just whether you land that strike first. Ilia Topuria, it's like the Alex Pereira Adesanya type fighter, where you've got to make Ilia make a mistake to beat him, otherwise he will knock you spark out. And I think Mauricio Ruffi can do this. Islam Makhachev. We have picked Michael Morales as the nightmare matchup for Islam Makhachev. Let's get it straight. You're not going to out-grapple Islam Makhachev. You're not going to win a decision over Islam Makhachev, more than likely. The only way you are going to beat Islam Makhachev is by knocking him spark out and having incredible power. That is why the only people in my life, as of now, I'll ever pick to beat Islam Makhachev would be a Michael Morales. an Ilia Topuria, and a Carlos Prates because they all have incredible KO power. Only threat is, what do you do? It's like he's just like Khamzat Chimaev. What do you do when Islam Makhachev goes out there first round, shoves a double leg on you? Can Michael Morales stuff it? He's massive for the division. Usually we see everyone that fights Makhachev at a size disadvantage. That is why I want to see Michael Morales fight him. Michael Morales will be the bigger man in the cage. We see what he did to Brady, a very weird stance. We know he's a zesty guy. So the build-up would be very fun for that fight. We've already seen him call out Islam Makhachev on the last card at the weekend with that picture of him looking like a downy. That was pretty funny. But I think Michael Morales has the best chance of beating Islam Makhachev. I think he can go out there, KO him in the first, similar to what he did to Brady. However, Islam Makhachev has arguably the best wrestling we've ever seen in the UFC, bar Khabib. So if you can stop the wrestling, he's a good striker. He's an underrated striker, Islam Makhachev. I'm not saying Michael Morales can go out there and just smoke him in 5 seconds like he's like he's Jose Medina. I just think Michael Morales poses a weird threat to Makhachev that he's never fought. This is a guy in his prime, young, tall, big for the division, power in his hands. If anyone's going to beat him, it's going to be Michael Morales. I think Ilia Topuria will be too small for Makhachev, and I think Carlos Prates will get absolutely ragdolled. Whereas Michael Morales could be the guy to do it. Here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm Khamzat Chimaev's nightmare matchup. I'm gonna go out there and beat up this fucking Chechenian whore. The guy can't fucking strike. The guy just wants to go out there and lay on fucking people's legs. Boring fucking fighter. I'm not gonna say what he actually says about his religion, because that'll probably get me banned off YouTube. But I do think Sean Strickland is a nightmare matchup for Khamzat Chimaev. Let's get it straight. Khamzat Chimaev can easily ragdoll Sean Strickland and submit him, but who's done that to Sean Strickland in the middleweight division? Yes, I know Khamzat Chimaev is a completely different level to anyone Sean Strickland has fought in the middleweight division, grappling wise. Who, as Rogan says, who does that to Sean Strickland? We've seen Khamzat in wars with guys like Gilbert Burns, where the striking isn't fully there. He looks dodgy on the feet against Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman was getting some success, and Kamaru Usman is fucking washed. That's a Leon Edwards victim right there. So I know it's obvious to say if Strickland can keep it standing, he'll have the striking advantage. But it's true, if Strickland can keep it standing, he'll piece up Khamzat Chimaev for 5 straight rounds, just like he did to Fluffy. Khamzat won't be able to get near him on the feet. It's just all whether you can stop the grappling of Khamzat Chimaev. Let's look at the rest of the division. Who is there? DDP probably does the same thing to DDP, and DDP isn't as good of a striker as Strickland. Stylistically, tough to face. Yes, DDP throws some weird kicks and shit, but as a defensive striker, Sean Strickland is the best defensive striker in the world. Let's just say that. You can't touch Strickland on the feet, really, unless you're Alex Pereira, but Khamzat Chimaev is not Alex Pereira. Strickland could dog walk in with the jab and the teeps. However, Khamzat's just going to go out there and shoot a double leg. I'm not saying Strickland will beat Khamzat. I'm just saying Strickland has the best chance of beating Khamzat. We look at guys like Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen can't strike. Fluffy can't strike. Rainier Dorito, yeah. Bahalio is shit. Adesanya get out grappled. DDP is already molested. Imavov is a weird one, but I just think I don't think Imavov has the weird enough striking to beat a guy like Chimaev, and Chimaev will ragdoll him as well. So, to be honest, I don't think anyone really beats Khamzat, but if anyone's going to do it, it would be Sean Strickland, just because of his awkwardness on the feet, and maybe you could fuck with him mentally. A bit of mind games. You know, we've seen that Strickland doesn't exactly like Chimaev, so I don't know if he's ever said it, you know. I don't think the guy likes Chimaev. So, yeah, we would all want to see Strickland beat Chimaev. This should be the fight made next in the middleweight division. We've seen now Khamzat, thanks to Crazy Kev on Twitter, the bomb. Khamzat is staying at the middleweight division, and we all want to see Khamzat versus Strickland. But knowing the UFC and the gay Paramount new ownership, they don't like Sean Strickland, so they'll probably give him Imavov instead. And they'll probably give Strickland some nightmare matchup to try and get him away from the title. But we all want to see Sean Strickland versus Chimaev. Let's get into the next one. Light heavyweight division. Ankalaev is the nightmare matchup, in my opinion, for the winner of Ulberg versus Yuri. Obviously, this is the new title fight. Pereira's gone up to hopefully kill Cyril Gane. Unless it's Tom Aspinall, then, you know, Pereira's a bum and Aspinall easily beats him. But nevertheless, we're on about these guys. I can see Yuri beating Ulberg. That's a 50-50 fight, Yuri versus Ulberg. It just all depends on Ulberg could smoke him early and Yuri could smoke him late. Nevertheless, whoever wins that division is that shallow that they're probably going to have to give Ankalaev an immediate title fight again, because the next best contender after these three, I'm pretty sure, is Khalil Rountree. And yeah, we saw what happened to him in his when he's fought higher comp like Praska and Pereira. So Ankalaev, honestly, is very underrated right now after that humiliation loss to Alex Pereira. I think he gives both of these guys major problems. He's awkward on the feet, very good wrestling. He can blob you to a decision against the cage. We saw him do that to Pereira. He also got some underrated striking. I know he's not done it against the highest level of comp, but good knee landed on Johnny Walker. That's not the best guy to credit good striking against. He's gone out there and beaten guys like Rakic. He can outpoint a guy to a decision, let's say that. Just like Carlos Ulberg. That's where I'd be worried he could beat a guy like Yuri. He's not very wild on the feet, which doesn't give Yuri many openings to land these crazy strikes on him. You know, Ankalaev is a good fighter, but I know I am better. Let's go for that. Whereas you've got Carlos Ulberg, major counter striker, and if Ankalaev doesn't press forward, he's gonna have nothing to strike. And Carlos Ulberg isn't great going forwards. He heavily relies on that counter striking. And you see him having to go forwards when he fought Jan Blachowicz at UFC London. I saw that in the flesh. That was the most boring fight I think I've ever seen in my life from two top contenders in a light heavyweight division. Yeah, Ankalaev provides a very good stylistic matchup against both of these guys. I'd be more confident in picking Yuri to beat Ankalaev than I would Ulberg, but who knows? Ulberg could be the champ. We hope not. Let's go for that, Yuri. Heavyweight division. Currently still the champ. Let's pray they don't vacate that belt from him. Tom fucking Aspinall, mate. I think he goes out there and fucking beats up Cyril Gane and Alex Pereira. But if we're being serious now, I don't really think he has a nightmare matchup. Let's just be honest. I think Tom Aspinall is that good. He doesn't have a nightmare matchup. If I had to pick a guy to beat him, it could be Alex Pereira. We have seen Tom Aspinall look very mid against Cyril Gane. Yes, it pains me to say that. Look very mid against Cyril Gane before the dirty, naughty guy. Thought he'd play a bit of, thought he'd stretch his fingers out, mid-fight. Just have a little stretch. He must have had a bit of cramp in his fingers just to. Tom must have had a bit of eye bogey. He just wanted to get rid of Tom's eye bogey. So it's a nice move from Cyril Gane, very kind guy. But Pereira could KO Tom Aspinall. It would be a fully bulked up Pereira, no weight cut. He'd be fighting at his natural weight class, similar as Tom. Tom doesn't have to cut any weight. Two of the best strikers ever in the UFC going at it. Massive power punches. You'd be worried at every exchange. Pereira could cold Tom if he makes a mistake, leaves his chin in the air. We've seen Tom leave his chin in the air before. But I would pick Tom Aspinall to implement a wrestling heavy game plan on Pereira and maybe even hold him on the feet due to the fear of the takedowns. No glaze. I don't really think Tom Aspinall has a nightmare matchup. Like, it's not like when DDP was champ and you could see Khamzat was, oh shit, he's gonna have to eventually fight Khamzat. There isn't really a guy in this heavyweight division like that. Heavyweight division is very shallow, very poor, that we've had to import the fucking light heavyweight champ as the best matchup. Look, you take out Alex Pereira. Who else would Tom Aspinall have to fight? Cyril Gane. He smokes him in a rematch, as long as Cyril Gane doesn't poke his eyeballs open. Volkov, he's already smoked him in a round. Who else is there? Curtis Blades already smoked him in a round. Is Rizvan Kuniev really the next guy up after that? Wow. Rizvan Kuniev, let's not even talk about what Tom Aspinall will do to Rizvan Kuniev. So yeah, Alex Pereira is the clear. He's not even really a nightmare matchup. He's just the only guy I could see beating Tom, really, in the heavyweight division. Could KO him? Aspinall could sub him or KO him. I'd be leaning more to Aspinall, as he has a wider range of tools to use against Alex Pereira. However, we've only ever seen Alex Pereira lose to Ankalaev and Adesanya. So, and also, Alex Pereira's grappling is very underrated. People always think Just go out there and take him down, bro. Just take him down, bro. You can't just do that to Pereira. He's got very good jiu-jitsu and wrestling now. Been training that a long time under Glover Teixeira, a very good coach for Alex Pereira, that is. But yeah, I would still lean towards picking Aspinall, but if anyone's going to beat him, it'd be Pereira. On to the WMMA, the section we are all here for. Mackenzie Dern, is it strawweight? That says it all. I don't even know the fucking division's name. I'm going to assume, yes, strawweight. The strawweight champ, Mackenzie Dern, yeah, real champ. Winning a vacant belt against Virna Jandiroba. Just make the Weili fight. You're not the real champ, Mackenzie Dern. Just give Weili the belt back, bro. Weili is the best strawweight fighter of all time, arguably. She only really lost to Valentina Shevchenko because of the size. There wasn't really a skill disadvantage there. A clear skill gap there. That's kind of cope. But Shevchenko is very fucking good. We'll get to her in a minute. But Weili has clearly cleared out the division in the past at strawweight and deserves an instant title shot. And I think she could beat Mackenzie Dern by TKO. Mackenzie Dern is very mid on the feet. Good grappling and jiu-jitsu. Nice ass as well. We'll give her that. She's much better looking than Zhang Weili. But Zhang Weili is the superior fighter and would smoke her. You just have to avoid the takedowns early from Mackenzie Dern, and I think she could easily stuff the takedown. We've seen her against women, nearly said guys, against women like Tatiana Suarez, where they want to take her down straight. But Zhang Weili won't be at a major size disadvantage here. Her natural weight class to fight at. She'll be faster on the feet than Dern. Mackenzie Dern versus Virna Jandiroba. What a fight that was, honestly. That should be fight of the year. Yeah, just give Weili the belt back, bro. Valentina Shevchenko, the flyweight goat. Flyweight goat, let's just say it how it is. I don't see anyone beating her as of now. The only way I could see her losing if she goes and tries to move up and fight a guy like Kayla Harrison. Yes, a guy like Kayla Harrison or Amanda Nunes. There's no one in this division. I would have picked Natalia Silva if she hadn't fought Rose Namajunas, but she looks very mid on the feet. Not as good as she once looked, but we do not fuck with Natalia Silva. She just sidesteps at range, makes noises when she throws kicks. Shevchenko just mauls everyone in this division. She's too good of a grappler. She's the female Islam Makhachev Khabib. With good striking as well. I don't think anyone beats her. You call me a casual all you want, I don't care. No one's going to beat Valentina Shevchenko for a long time at flyweight. Like I said, the only way she loses is if she moves up and tries to take on Harrison or Nunes. She's clearly the goat of the division. She's cleared it out. Female bantamweight division. What a nice young man we have as the champ right now. Kayla Harrison, obviously. Rest in peace, your neck, bozo. That could play a big impact in your career. But it's looking more unlikely that the UFC will just rebook the fight with Amanda Nunes. This is a major legacy fight. There's not really anyone in this division that I could see giving Kayla Harrison problems at all. She outgrapples everyone. The only woman I could see her having problems with is the Lioness, Amanda Nunes. Fight was obviously pre-booked for UFC 324. Kayla Harrison has to get neck surgery. Yeah, I could see her beating Amanda Nunes. She's so big for the division. She's a natural. If she has to fight at a natural weight class, it's probably be like 155, 170 for a female fighter. That's absurd. She's got bigger. Honestly, she wouldn't give any male bantamweights a problem. Nunes striking looks a bit dodgy though. She doesn't look the best on the feet, but she uses her physicality and drags people down. And I could see her doing the same to Amanda Nunes. She bullied Juliana Pena. Kayla Harrison did in her last fight at, I think it was UFC 316, the O'Malley card. And I could see her doing the same to Amanda Nunes. The only threat she would have is the striking. Amanda Nunes would probably have a striking advantage. However, Amanda Nunes has been out of the octagon for a long time, retired. Not really. I don't really blame her. It's the similar state as it is now. These divisions are so shit. We need to sign top prospects outside the UFC like Dakota Ditcheva. Let's get some fun matchups going. Because after this fight happens in this weight class, who do we have? What do we make next? Are we going to give fucking Juliana Pena a trilogy? Or another shot? Like, the divisions are dead. The only woman that can beat Kayla Harrison is probably Amanda Nunes. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. They are my nightmare matchups. All current UFC champs. Let me know what you guys think. If I like, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, Dilly MMA, X Dilly MMA. Yeah. Thank you once again for watching.